What's up, guys? How you doing? This is John from Team Rinoki. I mentioned at the end of my last video I put up on YouTube, I was going to try to bring out more, videos, I guess. I know I've said that before, and I do apologize. Just between school, work, and all the other different things I've had come up and have to do. Let's go ahead and click that out. I don't need that. All the different things I've had to do, it's been kind of hard to balance that and then keep doing YouTube stuff. But beforehand, I was just doing it on Yu-Gi-Oh! And I want to do games also. One game I do play a lot of is World of Warcraft, guys. I'm an avid WoW player. At the moment, I am in a very casual guild. Um, we should be getting to Mythics soon, and when I say casual, I mean really casual. I'm used to pushing Mythics much quicker. Um, so for me, this whole expansion has just been kind of very relaxed, very chill, especially compared to the last expansion for me, where I was constantly pushing mythics uh, much faster. Not in the sense of like the world top guilds, but at a much more quicker, decent pace than this expansion. So the first video I'd figure I'd bring a how-to for the Holy Pally, and then I'll do a let's play for the follow-up, just kind of showing me doing the things I talk about. So let's get started. With the talents, level 15, obviously this is all subject to your opinion, um, especially for, the first two talents. It's all opinion. I know my mythic rating Holy Pally buddy, who I will constantly theorycraft with, was just telling me how he loves Long Arm of the Law on, like, mythic Zul'Harrak. Me, I don't use Judgment that often, so I don't find it that necessary. But, so we've got Speed of Light, Long Arm of the Law, Pursuit of Justice. This is on demand. This is every time you judge. And this one is just, build up holy power, get extra speed. That one's probably the worst of the three because we spend our holy power so much. And we don't generate it very fast. The level 30, once again, it's all your choice. I just keep Fist of Justice out of, I'm lazy. Level 45, okay, this is where people will probably, differ. Your standard Holy Pally, and people are going to always say Eternal Flame is the better one. I can actually argue against that, having played Selfless Healer in that Holy Pally I was telling you about over on Terralion, who raids with Daybreak, has done nothing but Selfless Healer this whole expansion and has got world top parses with it. He just doesn't use Word of Glory, ever. It's just strictly Light of Dawn, giant Flash of Light nukes. Selfless Healer is very viable, don't let people tell you otherwise, especially with the changes they've made to Infusion of Light procs that increase your Flash of Light by 60% now, paired with, the Selfless Healer stacks. So one stack is 35%, 2 is 70, 3 is 105. So that's 105 plus 60. Then the trinket, just the normal class trinket, is 88%. So you can see how these things, you're getting, 240, 300% increase heals to your Flash of Light. So it really makes Selfless Healer very viable, especially this tier. It's probably the most viable it's ever been. You overheal a lot with it, but you cap people off very quickly. I've dropped over 1 million nukes on people that were just free insta-cast heals back to back, just like bam, here you go, there you go, there you go, bam, healed you up. Ripped that debuff right off you, didn't I? But I do play Eternal Flame mostly because it is a playstyle that I'm more comfortable with. Sacred Shield is just garbage. It's been garbage this whole expansion. If you can consistently keep it burned off on 3 targets, it does outperform Eternal Flame, but there's your problem. You've got to constantly keep them all burned off, and you only get 2 tanks. So you can see where that kind of poses a problem. Level 60, Hand of Purity, no idea, guys. I've never found a need for this. Between Unbreakable Spirit and Clemency, this reduces your cooldowns by 50% on your defensive ones. Divine Protection, Divine Shield, and Lay on Hands. Can't beat that. Clemency is you get 2 hand abilities, so you get double Hand of Freedom, which comes in handy on some fights. Double Hand of Sacrifice and double Hand of Protection, so pretty self-explanatory right there, guys. Level 75, there's only one choice. Doesn't matter what people tell you. I'm not saying they're wrong, but for one of these to be good, luck and Jesus have to be on your side. Holy Avenger's just bad. It You just can't generate the holy power fast enough to make it worthwhile. Because to get your holy shock to a 4-second cooldown, you got to be at 50% haste. And even then, it's just you can't generate fast enough. If they made Selfless Healer add holy power back, this talent would totally be viable. Because you would just build up to 5, blow cooldowns, especially with the glyph. It's just, yeah, it would be amazing, but you just don't have that option anymore. And healing your beacon doesn't generate holy power. Blizzard took that away from us. So in Divine Purpose, like I said, RNG has to be on your side. It's not consistent. It can be good, especially with tier 17. Like, you could parse with it, or you could do really terrible with it. So it's like pick your poison. I just stuck with Sanctified Wrath. Consistency beats out every day. It's like out of 100 attempts, you may beat me 10 of them. But on the other 90, and probably the kill attempts, I'm going to beat you. So, next up, level 90. There might be a situation where Execution Sentence has been useful for raiding. I haven't seen it. Like I said, I've kind of raided pretty casually this expansion, so. Light's Hammer, I found it good on a couple fights, like Orgurger from Blackrock Foundry. I've used it on Shadowlord Iskar because of the getting terrible glare on my glasses. Shadowlord Iskar because we didn't have enough melee to make Holy Prism, but per minute healing output, Holy Prism wins, and then just a really well-timed Holy Prism is amazing. So. Your level 100 talents, it's pretty much no contest. Beacon of Faith, double beacons. I mean, even our 2 set right now demands it with an extra 25%. Pardon me, guys. With an extra 25% of our healing transferred to the beacons. So, Saved by the Light, I can't figure out where that's useful for a raiding environment, which is, I guess defeats the purpose of Blizzard, where they want everything to be competitive. I guess it's a PvP talent? Who knows? Beacon of Insight is actually a really nifty little talent. Oh, I'm having trouble reading, so I guess I gotta choose, man. What do I want, the glare on my glasses or not being able to read? So Beacon of Insight actually is a pretty cool talent, especially if you have more than one Holy Pally in the group, because if you can find a way to convince him to use Beacon of Insight, any Paladin in the group can use it. So if I'm healing with another Holy Pally and I'm like, hey, spec into Beacon of Insight for me, I can get the buff off it. So yeah, that's kind of shitty, but it works. And on paper, I mean, this is pre-2 set. On paper, Beacon of Insight was stronger. It would outperform double beacons, but the problem is the inconsistency and the margin for error is so high on that talent, man. You can't be 100% with it. So it's not really viable in raids compared to double beacon. For glyphs, these are all preference. I feel like the only mandatory glyph is Glyph of Sack. Just take some stress off yourself. Because nobody wants to take damage back from your Hand of Sack, because you can take a pretty big hit from that tank. Everything else is just subject to change. Me personally, I think Glyph of Merciful Wrath is amazing this tier. I didn't personally like it last tier. I treated Wings as just a giant cooldown for very select AoE phases, and this tier there's just constant AoE damage, so I'm just like, fuck it, Wings. It puts Wings on a 1.5-minute cooldown, and then you take the 30-second uptime on Wings with Sanctified Wrath. You only spend a minute out of Wings, so it does affect your mana bar a little bit more, but at this point in the game, I'm at 1,397 spirit. And then I have the heroic version of our one of our best in slot trinkets, the Demonic Phylactery, and that thing is worth like over 800 spirit for the heroic version. So I'm sitting over 2k spirit at this point. almost 2200, probably a little over 2200 on like paper. Um, Obviously, the more holy power spells I do, the less I get back. So this thing with tier 17 is terrible. Um, but you know, it's just, and that's counting only like 36 spells a minute or something like that, which I outdo that probably. So it's just a very basic 30, basic. I'd have to pull the spreadsheet up on it. It's a very basic like 800 spirit. Best way to look at it. Obviously, like I said, I have the best in slot trinkets, guys. I do. Sadly, one of them's normal. I haven't got the heroic one off Archimon yet. I'm a little sad about that. But we have another Holy Pally I raid with. He'll probably get it before me. Some of the DPS will probably get it before me if it drops. I'm just hoping for bonus rolls at this point. And like I said, the other one is Demonic Phylactery. It drops off Socratar. I got the heroic one, so was pretty stoked about that. As far as stats go, guys, okay, so intellect is our number one stat, but that's just a given. Like, you shouldn't have to explain that to people. Like, hey, this is your number one. That should just be a given. But our number two stat is not spirit. I know I see some guides out there that say it is spirit. We're going to take spirit wherever we can get it. You can only get it in like 4 spots anyways, and then 5 if you count trinkets. But spirit's not really our number 2. I did all of of Mythic High Mall with no spirit gear on whatsoever. I believe I had, for the longest time, I had the crafted trinket, not the epic one, just the 621, until I bought myself the ever-burning candle, whatever it was, which I guess did make up for lack of spirit, because 10k mana every 2 minutes is amazing. And then I also used the trinket off of twins that procced for haste. I valued haste a little higher than crit at that point, mostly because I was running unglyphed wings, which means when I popped wings at every 3 minutes, it's just your insta crit cap for Holy Shock. And the whole point of crit is for Holy Shock, mostly. But the magic number you want to get to with food buff, whatever it takes, fully buffed, you want to be at 30% crit. And that's only for if you're glyphing Glyph of Merciful Wrath. Being at 30% crit basically is just going to guarantee that your Holy Shock will crit 100% of the time with wings up, with everything cut by 50%. So, as you can see, I'm at 24.18. If I take food buff, that bumps me just at 25, maybe a little over, then plus 5% more. I'm at 30% crit cap, guys. Easy peasy, right? The next, you can kind of just pick and choose whatever you want. Fully raid buffed, I'm at like 43% haste now, so you can actually see, like, I've put a haste enchant on my ring, I've got one on my neck, and I've got one on my back. I'm trying to get to my 50% haste, like, final breakpoint. That puts, like I said, that'll put my Holy Shock at a 4-second cooldown with no buffs. After that, you start adding some, it just takes a lot more haste past that. So, but, get it down to under 3-second cooldown, whatever I gotta do. Pardon me. And it's a little bit more feasible to achieve now because our 4 set, it says stacks up to 4 times, 2% haste. It actually scales really kind of funny. I actually get like 10% haste out of it. It's WoW math though, so you're getting 2% of. So I guess what it's doing is it's taking like the 2% of your haste rating and then adding it in, but it just says it gives you 2%, so you figure that. But it's WoW, man. It's WoW math. But after the haste, I don't value mastery high at all. In fact, mastery is the bottom of the barrel for me as far as like stat priority. I put versatility ahead of it because versatility at least just says, hey, your heal's bigger. Mastery bubbles just cap out. Our mastery bubbles can cap out really quick. So with doing different things between wings, then Libram of Vindication, and procs and buffs and all that, I mean, you can just cap mastery out like super quick. So I just don't see the point. I value multi-strike under haste. I mean, obviously I don't have a lot of multi-strike, but that's just because my gear doesn't have it. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm at 20% mastery, 26% haste, and 24% crit. So, um, that's much it though, guys. I mean, there's gonna be people that are gonna disagree with me. Um, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not here to please everybody at the end of the day. I mean, all this is just subject to opinion. Like, I personally like using this big two-handed mace because it gives me the best stat priority I can get. I lose 100 spell power versus 308 crit on that thing is insane, and it gives me haste to boot. So, which are my top two stats. Um, Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for my how-to Holy Pally guide. Um, I'll try to do more videos on all of the healing classes. The only one I don't play, or I'll never do the video on, is my monk. I just don't like monks. I don't like playing them. I never have. I never will. More power to you if you like it. I like playing my Resto Shaman over my monk, which is saying something because I really find Resto Shaman boring. Um, in fact, it's more. And I will say this, as much as I love my Holy Pally, it is my favorite class by far. I've been healing on it since Burning Crusade. I've gone through some amazing times with this guy. Holy Pally is just very boring now, and it's been that way since last expansion for me. I really haven't felt like challenged with it, or like I have to like figure this playstyle out or do this. And it kind of started actually in Dragon Soul, because spam Holy Radiance all day is so hard. Oh, Holy Radiance. Oh, that's about what it was, and it was just win fights off Holy Radiance. Um, Last expansion was about the same thing. Oh, Holy Radiance, Light of Dawn, Holy Radiance, Light of Dawn, oh. And then they made Selfless Healer generate stacks of Holy Power. So that, because that's what the spec needed more, right? So then you paired that up with, Holy Avenger, and bam, you win! I mean, you lost to Disc Priests, but Disc Priests are degenerate. So were Holy Pallies, though, with Bubbles. Bubbles are just degenerate to the game. I really hope they figure something out. Next up, guys, though, I will be going over my Priest. I will do Disc and Holy for him, and I'll do some Let's Play videos. I'm not going to gem and re-enchant. Right now he's set up as Disc because Holy kind of got shafted a little bit on this tier, I felt like. But I am a Holy Priest fanboy. I actually hate Disc Priest, but you got to be Disc to get in groups. So, other than that, guys, like, subscribe, comment, rate below. Let me know your opinions on the Holy Pally, man. Other than that, guys, stay tuned for more videos to the channel. They're not all going to be WoW. I do a lot of gaming. I'm probably going to go out this week and buy some kind of thing that will connect to my computer. Well, maybe this week, next week, where I can record my Xbox One videos on here. But other than that, I also do Steam games, stuff like that, obviously. PC Master Race. But like I said, stay tuned, guys, for more videos.